I would like to welcome Irene. We now have a full quorum. We didn't earlier only because Becky was not unable to get her swearing in done in time for this meeting. And so I think the first thing that we want to do would be to do officer elections. I'm the vice chairman still. Wid has resigned as who is the secretary. So we have chair, vice chair, and secretary open pretty much. And so I would like to entertain anybody who wants to nominate anyone for the position of chair.
Point of order, just
Yes.
so we're official, let's call the meeting to order.
Okay.
and then we can get rolling. And
Okay.
I will tell you that the city account is recording on Zoom.
And I'm recording here at GCTV. Welcome to the Human Rights Commission meeting of January 9th, 2022. If there are other folks, GCTV is recording. The city is recording. If there's anyone else, please let us know. And there's no one else, so I would like to call this meeting to order at 6:31 p.m. And the first order of business is the election of officers. Do I have any nominations for chair? Empress.
Yes, I would like to nominate Felipe for chair.
Who's that?
You.
Any other nominations? All in favor?
You would need a second to that.
Oh, anybody want to second that?
I'll second the nomination.
Second by Mackenzie. Thank you. And yes, I'm rusty. It's been a while since I was a chair. And can we do a vote on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And how many is that? Let's do a roll call vote. Grady?
Aye. Excuse me. Aye.
Becky? Becky?
I don't think I'm able to vote this time.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Mackenzie?
Aye.
Empress?
Aye.
And Irene?
Aye.
Great. Now we should vote for, that means I'm the chair. Thank you very much, everybody. But I can't be a vice chair too. So we need another vice chair, and I would like to nominate Mackenzie.
I'll second.
All in favor? Grady?
I had another nomination for myself.
Yes. Yes, what's your nomination?
Myself.
Empress is nominating herself for vice chair. And so all in favor of, let's see how we do this. Grady, Mackenzie or Empress?
Need a second for Empress's.
Oh, we need a second for Empress. Thank you.
I'll second Empress.
Got me on the spot, so I don't know anybody. I'll abstain for right now until I see how it goes.
Okay. Empress,
I'm sorry,
who do you vote for?
for Empress.
And Mackenzie?
I'll
Who do you
vote for
vote?
Empress.
Irene?
Empress.
And I will go ahead and vote for Empress as well.
Thank you.
Empress is now the vice chair. I thought you would be too busy for something like this.
I'm never too busy to do the right
Okay,
thing.
good. And do we need a secretary to take minutes? Any nominations for secretary?
Nominate Mackenzie.
I'll second that.
I second that. Oh,
You'll third it, okay.
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
I did. And my vote is for Mackenzie as secretary. Grady?
Kenzie.
Mackenzie?
I'll vote for myself.
Empress?
Mackenzie.
and Irene.
Mackenzie.
Great, it's unanimous. So we have a full slate of officers here for the Greenfield Human Rights Commission. Philippe Simone will be the chair. Empress Banu will be the vice chair, and Mackenzie Siraj is the secretary. Who would like to take minutes? Thank you. Mackenzie will take the minutes for today. We can go back and rehash some of the things that we talked about, but I think we put a lot of effort already into that. And with healthcare and housing. Is there anything else anyone would like to say about either of those two issues? Empress,
On the issue of housing, there's a couple of things I would like to say.
yes,
Number one, if any of the commissioners are not signed up on the Franklin County Resource Network, that is a great avenue for everybody to be involved as far as what's going on in Greenfield and Franklin County and surrounding areas. Also, I just want to let everybody know that the Salvation Army did recently open back up for public showers to support homeless individuals so they could come and, take care of their personal hygiene. So I know they was closed down for a while, but they did recently open back up for public showers. That's another good thing. Also, I recently did outreach to the tent community, and I'm looking to do another one come springtime. And I just feel like that's something great that the commission could be involved in, to support the tent community and go down there, because it's a humbling experience. And before I went down there, I always had a passion as far as homelessness. But when I went down there and met with the people and got more information, it made me more passionate about it. And I feel as far as the new commission going forward, that's something that we could definitely come together to go down there and support the tent community in the city and see how we could be of service to them.
quick question. Excuse me. It's called the tent community.
Yes.
And these are folks that are homeless but are living in tents.
Correct.
You mentioned checking in on them in the spring. Is there a reason why we couldn't check in on them sometime this winter?
Well, what it is like I said, is we already did like a giveaway where Greenfield Savings Bank and the Greenfield Police Department and some community organizations came together, and we donated clothing and other supplies to them. So I was thinking probably like every season we could go down there. I mean, if we want to do something more, that's even great. I'm not going to kick against it, but I'm just saying that something was done, but there's always more to be done. So I'm just bringing it to the commission.
Absolutely.
See, that there's definitely an opportunity there as far as the new commission going forward. And it was a lot of positive feedback from it. And like I said, I just think that's a great project for the commission to take on.
I agree. I agree, and that's why I asked perhaps if somebody wants to, I'd be happy to go down there and just check it out and just do like a checkup. Hey, do you guys got everything you need for this week or this month or whatever? I think it's great that we're doing some giveaway on seasonally, but maybe they could benefit also by more regular visits. And the Franklin County Resource, what is the name of that group again?
The FCRN, Franklin County Resource Network. It's where all the community resources that supports, like, take for instance, homeless individuals, mental health services, youth services. It's a network where all the community organizations come together and share information. Felipe, mint tea is good for that.
Yes, it is. I don't have any with me right now. That's fantastic. I really appreciate you bringing us that information.
And what I could do, I could actually send you the link and it's easy to sign up, and they have a meeting once a month. And even like you could sit in on, if anybody in the commission would like to sit in on the meetings and just see some of the great things that's going on. I think that that's a good starting point.
I see Mackenzie has her hand up.
Yeah, whenever the housing issue is brought up, I always like to think of like what can be done prevention wise to help reduce the chances of becoming homeless for people who are currently housed. I like to think that perhaps there could be a chance with maybe like a workshop with the courthouse and understanding tenants' rights and allowing for less obscurity and understanding the rights that tenants have. Because I think a lot of times tenants can be taken advantage of, or they can also be not have access to the knowledge of what is legal and what's not legal, and etc. Also, prevention for like people with mental health. A lot of times, like I know personally a few people who have struggled with mental health and ended up homeless because they couldn't take care of themselves, and no one else could take care of themselves either. So providing, I don't know how you do that, but like help connect people with the right resources, I think is number one priority, especially since I think most of the time the resources are there. It's just that people are either unaware, scared, or they just don't have support. Yeah.
Becky and then Empress. Thank you.
I just wanted to add on to what Mackenzie was saying, and you can contact Mass Fair Housing, and they have a Know Your Rights training that they offer for free, and they can come and do a Zoom presentation that could be open to the community, and then talk about what the tenant rights are and disability rights, and so they do a really nice presentation.
Empress.
And this is also to back up what Mackenzie said as well. I forgot where I seen it, but I know there's legislation where they're trying to get rid of the notice to quit situation, as far as where tenants have to wait to get a notice to quit to get evicted, and they're trying to see if people could get services before that happens. Because by the time notice to quit comes, that's basically families are facing homelessness. So they're trying to stop that, and trying to see if maybe people could get rent arrears or support with rent before you get a notice to quit. So that's definitely something that legislation is out for right now, that they're trying to get rid of that notice to quit.
Becky.
Yeah, that's the related to the RAFT funding. So right now, the way it is with RAFT, you have to wait and get the notice to quit before you can qualify for the RAFT funds, which are, I believe they're still at $7,000 to help with rental arrears and other costs that are related to housing and keeping people housed. But that is I can try to find that link and send it to you.
Okay, the mayor is hitting the road and bowing out, I see, from her message. Absolutely right on, Empress, Becky, and Mackenzie, because this is the thing, is that there are a lot of resources out there. There are laws that can protect people. So few people don't know them, or people just don't know them. They're not aware of them. They think that they're powerless and they have to do whatever their landlord says because they just don't know any other thing. Getting that information out, that's the battle. The information's there, the resources are there, we can compile them. That's pretty easy work. But us as the Human Rights Commission, this is the thing that I've been wanting to do for a long time, getting out into those neighborhoods and letting people know. If I have to go door to door in Greenfield Gardens, I'll go door to door, and or I'll create a meeting there. or, just, we have to do something more proactive than just calling a forum at the John Zahn Community Center and just hoping that people come up. We need to bring the information to them. We need to show them that the Human Rights Commission is relevant to their lives. And I think we will get greater representation from those communities, even at our meeting, to call in even and talk to us about things like that, But I think that face-to-face visit has to, and it's cold outside, I know, but I have a day off here and there, and maybe somebody will want to come along with me, and we can just knock on doors and talk to people. And perhaps we can create a flyer to put up in their laundry facility, the places where people would go in those communities. Because that community is one big issue to me in the first place, in terms of the fact that it is not being kept very well by the management company. And I really would like, for the image of Greenfield, we're compassionate people, and we want to have that compassion show to people who are low-income renters as well, and have a nice community for folks to live in. Did someone raise their hand? Was that you, Irene? Irene, please speak.
So I've only been on the commission for a few months, and sometimes I feel a little overwhelmed because there's so many, there are just so many subjects we bring up, and everyone has such great information about all of them, and they're all worthwhile issues to address. But somebody, this is just my own thought, so help me out with this. So I'm just trying to figure out, as a commission, do we somehow list what all our ideas and projects are and then work on a few, or the way it seems to have worked the last few weeks is if somebody has an idea, they sort of run with it. It doesn't always seem like we can do it the most thoroughly that way. But I just didn't know, how you saw the commission going.
I think sorry, I can respond to that really quickly.
Okay.
I think what would be a good way to go forward is we'll review our minutes and see what it was that we wanted to do, that we all said that we were interested in doing. And then I think just like farming it out, so that like folks are doing the thing that they're suited to do and that they're capable of doing. Like perhaps with this housing initiative, I'm going to put a trip down to Greenfield Gardens to go there and knock on the doors. I'm going to need flyers and literature. The people who mentioned the Franklin County Resource Center, Mass Fair Housing, the Raft Fund, all of those things, we could either find the literature about those or create a few flyers ourselves. And that, Irene, would be a really good place for you to help us, is if you could do some of that kind of work. You did mention before that you liked doing things on a computer and at home. We need flyers and things like that, a way to gather the information.
Yeah, I guess I'm still back with what do people need us to do? Like, do people at Greenfield Gardens really need literature? Do they need someone down there to do a workshop? Do they need something hands-on? It just feels like, for me, the last few months, that there's so much energy and good thought here in this commission, but it doesn't feel like it's ever harnessed in any way. So anyways, I'm just trying to figure that out, I guess, how we go forward, or how people want to go forward.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfectly good question. I'd be willing to entertain any answers from folks. My first impression would be, yeah, we would love to have a meeting or a forum down there, but we have to make contact with the people to let them know that this is the type of thing that's going on. So I think that first contact, and then the two-way exchange of conversation where they learn what we're interested in and how we can possibly help them, but they also tell us what it is, the problems that they're having themselves. It's kind of an open book to me right now. It's kind of an empty open book.
Yeah, I think Becky, I'm not to put you on the spot, but I'm suspecting, Becky, that what's happening at Greenfield Gardens. Like, is there a tenant council down there, or Is there some kind of organization within Greenfield Gardens?
Yeah, so each of the Leiden Woods and Greenfield Gardens and Oak Courts all have a resident services coordinator that we could contact and then be able to connect that way. They also typically do the door-to-door thing. It's not really allowed for people to typically kind of go around those properties and just kind of go door to door. But you could connect with the resident services person and make a time to be down there or make a time to do a meet and greet or something like that. And I think that, you know, just from somebody that does a lot of this kind of resourcing like in the community for, you know, like almost 20 years, there's a lot of things that are already happening. And so it sort of feels like if we're sort of redoing something in a small way, our efforts might be better served to sort of join up with other things that are already happening. And maybe that's either individually or with like, you know, one or two people representing on certain projects. But some of what it sounds like I'm hearing sounds like things that are definitely occurring with other organizations that also have funding and other people that are involved. So that's
wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that, because I really didn't know what the status was and if people's voices were being heard there. All I've seen is the increasing dilapidation and misuse of, you know, of the property by management. So that's great to know that there is something there. I've had a few people approach me about certain possibilities for creating outdoor spaces that are invite people into wooded areas and natural areas and things like that that could be done as well. Empress?
Yes, I know that I've worked with all the project managers one or two times already. One of them was when I had the backpack giveaway at Greenfield Gardens, Oak Courts, and Leiden Woods. And I had sit downs and meetings with each of the property owners already. And they did speak, like Becky was saying, about some of the programs that they have. But you're definitely willing to open up to like different kind of programming as far as getting their tenants involved. I guess it depends on exactly what you would have in mind, because there is there's a lot of and that's why meetings are good, and to know about what other organizations are doing. Just like Becky said, that so that we're not repeating the work, because after a while it's just redundant, you know, and we're not going anywhere with that, you know. But like if you had a different plan and action of exactly what you wanted to do, or what we want to do as a commission as far as going into the communities, and if you want to hold like certain kind of workshops or you know, but that wouldn't be something that would definitely not happen today. That's a lot of planning as far as where we would like to go forward. But they have opened up the door and said, you know, that they are willing to, you know, to work with individuals who do want to come in and have certain workshops with their tenants. So I guess it just depends on what kind of programming it's going to be.
And ones with snacks are definitely preferable. I'm not sure if we're allowed to use the chat to have conversations with each other, but just raise your hand and speak to the chair and you will be heard. Did you have some more ideas, Becky?
Yeah.
Do you live there?
I work there.
So you work at, okay, great. So you're
resident
indispensable to what we're looking at.
So they have a community room at most of the spaces. And so they likely would allow some of us to be on site in their community room during this regular meeting time. And then we could have something that could help invite over the residents during that time. So they would be invited to join the meeting. So that was, you know, something that I did have some you know, practice doing in a past job, trying to get folks to come over. And so if there's people there that are friendly and welcoming, maybe some of the residents would come in to a meeting.
I think that this is a good way to go about this, to find out what, you know, Irene, as you said, to find out what's already happening and what resources are actually already available to us. So I'm really happy to hear this stuff from all of you members and Becky about what we can do in that. And that's going to make it a lot easier for us to just do this initially. I was ready to just walk down there and say, I'm so-and-so, what's up? You know, but you're right that they don't allow solicitation, public solicitation like that, I don't think. So would everybody like Becky to put a proposal together based on how much she knows about what's possible to do there and the other public housing units? Is that correct too? You mentioned Oak Courts and other, yeah. And so at least we can address these kind of issues with people who are low-income housing residents already. And I think one of the things that I was interested the most in finding out about is their access to nature and to green areas. And how does the construction or the design of their community fit in with bringing people into a place like that, to inspire people to take a walk on a trail, to go down to the river, you know, and so on and so forth. Other than that, the general issue of homelessness and housing is, can we do anything to help inspire or create new housing units beyond what we already have? And so that would be the other piece of that. Okay, so by the next meeting, if Becky could have some kind of a plan, a general plan that we can discuss about how we can relate to that community, I think that would be more than enough to do for now. Anybody have any thoughts about that? I know you're thinking, but okay. And so we've already talked a lot about healthcare. And I think that first step would be to check in with CHD and see what they're doing about this and what kind of, and there was another group that was mentioned that is getting funding in dealing with the healthcare issue. Becky?
So I think I was mentioning the community health center.
Mhm.
And the community health center gets different kinds of funding that can help support people. Like for one example, they have specific funding that can help provide transportation. And so they can go and pick people up and take them to and back and forth to their medical appointments. In addition to, there's a PT1 available if you have Mass Health, but these folks can work with people with different kinds of insurance things, or maybe no documentation and things like that. So it might be worth inviting the community health center, or also they have a meeting room there. So they might be another place if we wanted to have an open drop-in kind of a meeting spot, to do one at the community health center.
Fantastic. Any other thoughts? Mackenzie, is your hand still up, or are you?
Yeah, I just I can't help but think about the Tapestry Center in Greenfield, because I feel like that's such a super important organization in Greenfield. It's also in Northampton, and they all work together to provide care for their patients. And I think the Tapestry in particular is super important for young people, especially those who are looking for healthcare away from just going to their doctors or
Mhm.
just it provides a different kind of alternative to healthcare. I think it could also be beneficial to invite them to see, like, looking at issues regarding like youth and women's reproductive health.
Yeah.
It also connects to homeless issue of lack of resource to feminine hygiene, etc. I think the tapestry connects to such multifaceted issues, as well as the CHCFC, that they're too important to pass on.
Yeah, I agree. And perhaps building some kind of an alliance with medical organizations to confront the problem from the community, those that are charitable, those that have an ethos, as well as those who are profitable or rely on profit to keep their services open, keeping in mind how expensive medical services are to provide, even to the base cost of everything. And so there'll be more about that in our upcoming meetings. And I'm going to make a few phone calls myself and maybe even write a few letters. I'll keep you informed as I go along. But I would like to have, I'm kind of confused. I think I want to let Bay State know how I feel about their lack of care for people. But I also want to try to put together a bunch of medical organizations and community organizations to approach them about that, where there's more of a voice. Becky?
The Wildflower Alliance, they have a spot over on Chapman Street, but they have somebody who is collecting data about people's experiences with medical care, and they have special funding through the state, and they are doing a collective report. And so the contact person's name is Raphael, and he would be a good person to speak to about your experiences, or anybody else that you know that has experiences with the hospital or with the care that they got here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
What was that called? What was it?
The Wildflower Alliance?
Yeah, the Wildflower Alliance, and that's one of the consortium programs. And there's somebody that is specifically working on that topic named Raphael.
Anybody else have any thoughts on this issue? Any old business to discuss? Any new business? Empress?
Okay, so for new business, I might have a couple business to speak about that's popped up the beginning of the year, but I will say this, that January 17th, Greenfield Community College is having a Martin Luther King celebration. I'm going to be one of the guest speakers. I'm going to actually do an introduction for the honorable speaker. His name is Kwamani Harris. He used to be the executive director at the Brick House, and he's recently published his own book called Pushing the Generations Forward. He is an African-American man who used to live in Franklin County, so that's great for our area. Also Gloria from Music.
Gloria Matlock?
Yes, Gloria, yes. So it's gonna be a youth-inspired event.
Oh, great.
But Judy Raper did ask me, because I am one of the because I'm doing one of the introductions for the speaker, because she started making a flyer, but she wants to update it just to say, like, if the Human Rights Commission would like to be a co-sponsor. Basically, just being a co-sponsor, just basically saying that you guys know about it because I am a commissioner and I'm speaking for them. So basically, I told her that we're having a meeting on Monday, and I will let her know on Tuesday if the commission would be okay with that. as far as being featured on their flyers, saying that the Human Rights Commission is a co-sponsor of this Martin Luther King celebration.
Barring that it costs anything, I would like to make a motion that the Greenfield Human Rights Commission co-sponsor the January 17th event at GCC and the speaker and program there. Would anybody like to second that?
I'll second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Got 1, 2, 3. We have 3, 4. Okay, anybody opposed? Abstentions? Yes. And Irene, did you vote?
I guess I'm abstaining. I just don't know anything about it, and I don't, I'm still trying to catch up with what the commission does. So, it seems like we readily jump on things. And I think it's probably just great, but it's like, I don't know anything about it, so I'll abstain.
Okay, so can I just give Irene more information?
Sure.
What it is, Irene, this is an annual thing that Greenfield Community College does every year. But what happens is because I'm so involved with Greenfield Community College and I actually found a speaker for them to speak. And because I am a human rights commissioner, basically that's why they just wanted just to say that the Greenfield Human Rights Commission is basically a co-sponsor of this Martin Luther King celebration. It's also going to be the Historical Foundation is also a sponsor, and some other organizations are also sponsors. It's basically just another means of saying that the community is coming together to celebrate this great event and celebration of this African-American man who did great things for our country. And they're not asking for any monetary donations or anything. It's basically just saying that that we support Greenfield Community College and having this great event. And like I said, it's an annual thing that the college does, but this year is the first year that, because I'm a commissioner, that they brought it to the commission and invite, and because I'm a speaker on it. So that's why.
Yeah, I have a little connection with GCC, and it does seem like most of the events now, they're trying to co-sponsor with other people and they don't charge, but I think they're just trying to, look more like community events and people who sponsor them. So, yeah.
Yeah, we support that. Yeah, we're saying that we support that event.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. It's just saying that we support you. That's it. That the Human Rights Commission, just like the Human Rights Commission supported me with Juneteenth, it's just the same thing. It's just saying, that we support this event that our community that Greenfield Community College is hosting. I hope I answered your question, Irene.
You did. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Are you going to continue to abstain, or do you want to vote yes or no?
If you need my vote, I can certainly vote yes.
Okay.
Do you have a flyer or anything, Empress, or does anybody have a flyer?
Yes, I can actually email Judy tomorrow because she's waiting, like I said, respectfully until we have the meeting. As soon as she sends it, I could send it out to the commission. That's just
great.
And this will be listed on GCC's events, won't it?
Yes, it's already listed on GCC's event.
Okay.
And just FYI,
Yes.
if you wanted to come and record on behalf of GCTV, you're also invited as well, because I know they're going to have somebody there, but I did bring up GCTV. So.
Oh, we wouldn't need to, because if the GCC, they have the built-in film. Yeah. And if they do it and they film it, then we'll definitely air it.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Any other new business?
Yes. Okay. So to follow up with that, now that I got that out their way, there's a couple issues, and I don't mean to damper anybody's spirit or anything for the new year, but I did want to bring this up. I believe in the new year, new commission, and new energy here. I have not appreciated a lot of the negative attention that the commission has gotten recently. I feel it's very disrespectful to us as a commission. I did not read any of the articles that was written because I only seen the title itself when it says the commission with no voice, and I was very bothered by that. And a lot of the things that was being said as far as the reason for people not being part of the commission or whatever had to be said was very funny, because one of said individuals was also the first one to comment on the retirement of Officer McCarthy, which I felt was very hypocritical. On one end, you want to damn everybody, but then on the other end, you're basically sending out a respect to one of the people who was part of the problem. I would just like to say, just going forward, if there should be, I feel there should be some discussion as far as how we conduct ourselves on or off the commission upon exit of the commission, because right now we're in a position where all eyes are on us because of the way that people air their grievances to the public. I understand freedom of speech, but when it sheds a bad light on the commission and we are the commission, I don't appreciate that. And I felt highly disrespected and troubled by it. I didn't like it. I don't know if you guys read the articles. Like I said, I just seen the title. I didn't run and read anything else. And on top of that, there was meetings that I had scheduled with the superintendent on this Wednesday. That was also already part of the commission, these meetings, and said persons, I won't say names, went and canceled those meetings because said persons was no longer involved. If there's nothing on the books, I feel there should be something on the books, because if there is an exit, I don't feel like people should cancel meetings in the public because you're no longer appointed to a position on the commission. There should be some kind of accountability or some kind of respect that's given. And I just feel like that what happened and what was said was a huge disrespect to the commission. It was a huge disrespect to all of us that's sitting on the commission right now. That makes it looks like we have no voice and we have no say so just because things didn't work out the way you wanted it to. I didn't appreciate it. And I brought it up in this meeting and I said I was going to because I didn't like it.
I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you very much. And it gives me a chance to pretty much say what we are. We're a commission. And we are going to vote on things and we're going to make decisions as a group. And we should stick to what those decisions are by majority consent. If you have a dissenting opinion, you are welcome to publish it. And that's just part of free speech. I think that the best thing to do is to have us, if you object to anything that we're doing or voting on, and Irene is a good example of this, where she just wanted, give me some more clarity. I need clarity. I don't understand this. That's more than acceptable and welcome. Dissent is more than acceptable and welcome. And as much as I appreciate free speech, let's try to do it here. Let's try to get those objections out here. And then we'll discuss them. And then there'll be a public record for it that people can see. They can see what you said, if that's what you desire. And let's work together to be as honest as possible. And if there's something that you don't like, something that you don't agree with, or something you need to have adjusted a certain way so that you feel more comfortable, bring that right up to the commission. I'm going to try to make these meetings as short as possible so that there's time for exactly that type of thing. And so I welcome it. And I'm really happy that you brought that up, Empress. Are there any other thoughts about this? Any other new business? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Made by Irene, second by Empress. All in favor, raise your hand. And we're all in favor. Thank you so much, everybody. This is the Human Rights Commission, Greenfield Human Rights Commission of June 9th, 2022, and we are adjourned as of 7:15 p.m.